The historic centre of Salamanca is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, fairly large, slightly hilly, yet easy enough for most people to walk around. The tour starts at the Plaza Mayor, built between 1729 and 1755, and one of the very best in the world. A place which once hosted bullfights, but happily these days the possessor of a far less hostile environment. Leave through the arch in the right-hand corner opposite the town hall clock, entering adjoining Plaza de Corrillo, past a very low-key McDonald's restaurant. Across from the raised colonnaded pavement, 12th century St Martin de Tours Church is usually open to visitors. The entrance is just around the corner. On reaching the road, turn right then second left along narrow pedestrianised Prado. Where it widens, bear sharp right by the Convento de la Madre de Dios, then at the end head uphill along the medieval Calle de la Campagna towards the domes of the Pontifical University. Along the way at the first junction, past San Benito Church, then immediately after the second junction, a small shop selling locally produced jamón ibérico, which despite being quite expensive, is quite popular. It's possible to enjoy panoramic views across the rooftops of Salamanca from the top of the university tower. Firstly climb the steps a few metres further along on the other side of the road, then pay an entrance fee, then climb the remainder of the steps. It's actually quite easy for anybody in reasonable physical condition. Opposite the university towers, the Casa de las Conchas, so called because of the numerous shells decorating its walls, is now a public library. Continue to the crossroads, turning right along Calle Antigua. At the far end of the first road to the left, it's just possible to catch a quick glimpse of the new cathedral. Take the second left into Calle Libreros, passing numerous cafes and bars on the way to the Patio de Escuelas. The statue there is of Fray Luis de Leon, who spent 4 years in prison for translating a passage of the Bible from Latin into Spanish. Beyond it, the gate to the side of the Museum of Salamanca leads to the Escuelas Menores. Enter the door on the far side of the courtyard to visit the Cielo de Salamanca. This remaining section of a 15th century ceiling depicting the night sky was originally located above what is now the chapel of Salamanca University. After restoration in the 1950s, it was relocated to become the city's star attraction. Return to the Patio de Escuelas, where the plateresque facade of historic Salamanca University includes a frog among its many designs. The almost impossible task of finding it unaided is popular with both tourists and students. Continue along Calle Libreros, turning second left into Calle Tavera. Across the square at the end, the old cathedral was due to be demolished after the new cathedral had been built, but for some reason the task has never been completed. Maybe mañana. A small side door leads to the roof. Included among the diverse exhibits on the way up is a cross worn by El Cid, who died in 1099, and a book of early Christmas songs. There's also a tribute to the Lisbon earthquake of 1755. Some of the damage it caused to the cathedral is still evident to this day. After passing along a narrow balcony with views down inside the cathedral, exit onto the roof. Walk along to the bell tower, where entry is via a narrow spiral staircase controlled by traffic lights. Back at ground level, across the road from the old cathedral, the Episcopal Palace, which was General Franco's headquarters during the Spanish Civil War, often hosts exhibitions. Continue between the palace and cathedral towards the Plaza de Anaya. On the way, Salamanca University's bookshop lies directly opposite the Puerta del Nacimiento, a door of the new cathedral where some of the surrounding figures are damaged or missing as a result of the Lisbon earthquake, and it is said because they were stolen by Napoleon's troops during the Peninsular War. Across the Plaza de Anaya, sneak into the courtyard of Salamanca University's language faculty, where the walls are decorated with victor symbols by students who have gained a doctoral degree. The custom started during the 14th century, at which time bull's blood rather than red paint was used. The new cathedral opposite was constructed in 1733. May be surprising, therefore, that the figure of a spaceman is sculpted into the portal surrounding the visitor's entrance. Leave the Plaza de Anaya to the left of the cathedral, following its sidewall down the slope before crossing to the far left corner of the Plaza de los Leones, where a short road leads to the Huerta de Calixto in Malibea. A well just inside the entrance is popular with romantics who attach padlocks as a symbol of lasting commitment. Padlocks which, incidentally, are removed periodically by workmen, only to be replaced by others left by a fresh crop of hopefuls. Cross to the far edge of the orchard for views from the top of the old city wall. After returning to the entrance, head straight in the direction of the old cathedral. Then follow the road left as it skirts past the Casa Lis, a museum specialising in Art Nouveau and Art Deco works, with a popular cafe. Past the building housing the archive of the Spanish Civil War, bear left downhill through the ancient city gate. Follow the slope to the right before crossing to the 1st century Roman bridge, where the river is a haven for wildlife. Return to the road and head past the stained glass windows of the Casa Lis, perched high above the city wall. The Museum of Automation is set back from the road at the next junction. Follow the ancient city wall as it bears round into Calle San Pedro, before continuing to the Plaza de Colón, where the central feature is a statue of Christopher Columbus. Just past the park and across the road, climb the steps to the courtyard of the Palacio de la Salina, which dates from 1538. The unusually shaped arches around the courtyard are similar to those at the Casa de las Conchas and Escuela Menores visited earlier in this tour. Take the next turning to the right, and then at the bottom of the hill, turn right again past the Torre de Clavero, all that remains of the 15th century Palacio de Sotomayor. After the Plaza de Colón and Magistrates Court, follow the road left past the Church of San Pedro, and at the roundabout head towards the Convento de San Esteban. Immediately on the corner, a few metres before the slope, the Convento de las Dueñas opens for a few hours most days. The peaceful cloisters there include architectural features from a time long ago when the Moors occupied Spain. More importantly for some, the nuns living in the convent sell cakes popular with sweet-toothed locals from a small shop on the premises. Next climb the slope, then cross the bridge to visit the Convento de San Esteban, where Christopher Columbus was introduced to the King and Queen of Spain, who subsequently financed his first voyage to America. One of the altarpieces there contains gold from the very first shipment to arrive from the New World. After the convent, cross diagonally to the far corner of the Plaza de Basilios, home to Isla, an excellent Spanish language school, before continuing over the road into narrow pedestrianised Calle de los Martires. Guided tours of the Convento de Santa Clara at the top of the hill tend to be less touristy than most. The building opposite across the square is the Palacio del Conde de Francos. Continue up the next hill to the highest point in the old city, then dogleg through the Plaza del Santo. Opposite the Church of San Christobal, which was founded in 1145, turn downhill along Calle Asaderia. After crossing the Gran Via, walk through the Plaza de San Julian towards the Church of San Julian and Santa Basilisa. The low door on the far side dates from 1107 when the church was first built. Straight ahead, modern Central Market is frequently visited by tourist groups. Before reaching the steps leading up to the Plaza Mayor, turn right into Calle Pozo Amarillo, then first left into narrow Calle Ventura Ruiz Aguilera. At the end, almost directly opposite, the Museum of Bullfighting, featuring mostly local bullfighters and events, is a few metres along a short cul-de-sac. Back at the main road, head away from the arched entrance of the Plaza Mayor towards Zara, a modern retail outlet cleverly and sympathetically installed within a former church of the Convento de San Antonio Real, which can probably be best appreciated from the rear of the second level. Next fork right past the Lytheo Theatre and Church of the Sacred Heart to the Plaza de Santa Eulalia, where across the square the Palacio de los Formosos was constructed in the mid-15th century. Turn left into Calle Dean Polo Benito, following the road as it twists across Calle Toro. Continue to where it becomes semi-pedestrianised before turning left again into the Plaza de San Boal, where both the church and art gallery can be visited. The route then bends towards Calle Zamora, entering it opposite the España Duero Bank. Beside the bank, cross to the far corner of the Plaza de los Bandos towards the house of Donna Maria la Brava, the facade of which was built in 1485. Naturally upset that her sons had been murdered, Donna Maria arranged for the culprits to be decapitated and their heads to be placed in the coffins of her recently deceased offspring. Enter the narrow alley to the side of Donna Maria's house. Just before the Plaza de la Libertad, which is worth a quick look, turn right into Cuesta del Carmen. Second left, head past Camelot, a discotheque somewhat surprisingly housed within the confines of the Convento de la Anunciación. Along the road opposite the Casa de las Muertes and the Casa de los Abaye, where Miguel de Unamuno lived, pass beside the convent, then the Capilla de la Vera Cruz, into the park. Once there, take the third path to the left. At the end across the road, the Archbishop Fonseca College dates from the 16th century. To visit, head away from the park for about 100 metres, where the steps lead up to the entrance. Return to take the road downhill alongside the park, which leads to a pedestrianised zone where Dome Church of the Purist faces the Palacio de Monterrey, currently owned by the House of Alba, one of Spain's richest families. Construction commenced in 1539 and is still officially unfinished. The entrance is just around the corner. The road leading directly away from it leads to the Plaza Mayor, where this tour once started.